Hey everyone, it's Kong again with another episode of Should You Summon. As always, I'll be presenting high-level overviews to help you decide whether this banner and this banner are worth your hard-earned vouchers and crystals. In this video, we'll be looking at the characters from the Yu Yu Hakusho crossover rerun. They're spread across two banners, one featuring Kurama and Yusuke, and the other featuring Hiei and the Toguro Brothers. These banners will both run from July 7th to July 20th. And as rate-up banners, you have a 40% chance to get each on-banner character, with the remaining 20% reserved for any other hero in the regular summoning pool, which is especially frustrating for limited collab units, take my word for it. Anyway, as crossover characters, none of them require any SSR heroes to unlock their own bonds, and none of them are bond unlockers for anyone else. And as a crossover rerun, their availability is even sketchier and more uncertain than it was already. The last time these banners were up was like a year and a half ago, and if they do come back, it won't be for another 2 years at best. Okay, so on to the characters. First up we have Kurama. Kurama is an underwhelming mage. His talent speeds up the cooldowns of his skills by 1 tick whenever he ends his turn on natural terrain. His 3-cost and his unique 2-cost skills cause the victim to take fixed damage when they end their turn. The 2C is a single target, and the 3C is an AoE version. He also has a transformation skill that increases the range and span of these skills. He's a member of Heroes of Time, buffed by Joshua, Yusuke, and Angelica, Strategic Masters, buffed by Ultimuller and Lanford, and Yeles Legends, buffed by Landius and Sigma. For content, let's move on to Yusuke. Yusuke is a physical DPS. Whenever an ally dies, he restores some health and gets a boost to all stats, movement, and range. This synergizes nicely with Mimir's War Axe, which was basically released as an unofficial unique weapon for him. He also has a transformation that passively increases movement and damage dealt after he gets attacked. When he actively transforms, he gets those passive boosts without needing to get hit, and he also heals himself after attacking. His 3-cost skill is a long-range single-target attack that blocks healing when it fails to kill. He's a member of Heroes of Time, buffed by Joshua, Yusuke, and Angelica, Mythical Realm, buffed by Gizaroth and the Sage of the Trees, and Protagonists, buffed by Matthew and Emperor Lavina. His faction buff for Heroes of Time increases single-target damage dealt by 15%, so it's basically the single-target version of Joshua's buff. For content, he was primarily a PvP man. He could be loaded up to be a dangerous DPS and Jugler Buster back in the day, and he could take advantage of summon sacrificing strategies at a time when Gizaroth was still relevant, but it's hard to fit him in these days. Next up we've got Hiei. Hiei is an assassin whose talent lets him dodge an AoE if he's right on the edge of its span, up to twice per battle. His transformation is part of his AoE skill that hits himself as well as enemies. It increases his mobility, crit damage, and lets him act again after attacking. His 3-cost skill, like the other Yu Yu units, is kind of a combination of his previous signature skills. It strips 2 buffs, ignores guard, does fixed damage, and causes heal reversal. He's a member of Heroes of Time, buffed by Joshua, Yusuke, and Angelica, Origins of Light, buffed by Dehart, Jugler, and Freya, and Meteor Strike, buffed by Zerida and Epsilon. For content, in PvE, he can be used as a Listel substitute to cheese the level 70 Valkyrie thanks to the heal reversal in his 3C. Like most assassins though, he's clearly designed more for PvP, where he can present a threat to players who like to keep their units safely guarded by a tank. Unlike the rest of the Yu Yu squad, he's seeing a bit of a minor resurgence in Apex Arena, thanks to Epsilon being a strong meta pick who doesn't mind bringing a Meteor Strike faction buff, and thanks to Ironblood Commander being able to boost his mobility. Finally, we have the Toguro Brothers. These bros are a mobile physical DPS whose talent lets them build up stacks of permanent plus attack and plus skill, up to 30%, just for entering battle, killing enemies, or ending their turn. This is on top of having the highest base attack in the game in their demon form. Their transformation is a chivalry-like effect that lets you move 3 more spaces before attacking, boosts their stats, lets you move again after attacking, and gives them a revive. The cool thing about this is you can use the revive each time the transformation goes back up, not just once per battle. Once the transformation wears off though, you lose 90% of your HP, so you do need to take care of them. Their 3-cost skill is a single target attack that heals you up before you enter battle, increases damage dealt by up to 60% depending on how far you moved before combat, and pushes the enemy back 2 spaces, stunning them if they collide with something. They are members of Heroes of Time, buffed by Joshua, Yusuke, and Angelica, Empire's Honor, buffed by Bernhardt, Leon, Lance, and Rosenseal, and Dark Reincarnation, buffed by Bozel and Licorice. For content, in PvE, they actually spent a good chunk of time as a strong meta option versus Sleipnir in Ancient Beckoning, for a couple reasons. First, they're a long leg unit with bonus damage for moving before combat, which gels with Sleipnir's mechanics. Second, lengthy Ancient Beckoning battles allow you to make maximum use of their permanent talent stat boosts. Get to 15 stacks, and then ride it out for dozens of turns. Third, with their revive, you could park them in the line of Sleipnir's even phase insta-kill move, and the boss AI would get confused after killing them. The revive comes back for your next transformation, meaning you could use this trick multiple times throughout the fight. Oddly enough, these guys never saw widespread use in PvP, although a handful of players were known for using them for a while. Alright, let's keep things moving along to the notes for noobs. For Kurama, if you're not a completionist collector or a hardcore Yu Yu Hakusho fan, he's eminently skippable. Yusuke has one of the rare faction buffs for Heroes of Time, and he's always just on the cusp of being viable in PvP. He never really actually got bad, his only problem is that other better units elbowed him out of his spot. Hiei has some niche PvP usefulness paired with Ironblood Commander, but it's probably not worth building him up from scratch for it, and it's uncertain how long it'll actually last. He's fine. This is the collectors and fans banner now. Toguro Bros, it's the same story here. Collectors and Yu Yu fans will want to try to add him to the barracks, but any meta-relevant usefulness he had is now dust in the wind. He does have big muscles though. Finally, just my usual reminder about upcoming banners. I'm on vacation, so I'm not going to re-record this whole part, but just know that next week we've got the Bozel, Luna, and Liana banner, and the Autocrato, Maya, and Nomi banner. We can discuss anything else that's coming up in the future in the next episode next week. Alright, that's it for this episode, so let us know on the Discord or in the comments below whether you're summoning for these limited units to try to fill in some gaps in your collab collection, or whether you have the mental fortitude to skip them now that they're not as important. I need one from each banner, so I'll be summoning and praying I don't have a repeat of my experience on the Shaltir banner ×2. Thank you so much for watching, I wish you all the very best of luck, and I'll catch you in the next Should You Summon. Extra special thanks, of course, to our Langrisser tier channel members for generously supporting the channel directly. Shout out to Levitt, Derek Gunderson, Kate Soon, Jared Portela, Jerome Meyer, Shara Ilimerius, and Harambe. And if you want your name added to this list, please click the join button for some information about the very cheap and very affordable ways that you can support me in my battle against YouTube advertisers.